supposed to. Only choking in your ears, now we getting close to.
All right. We are live. We're here with Denis The Menace Frimpong. He was born in Austria. He was raised in Dublin, and he's currently over in Manchester fighting for Oktagon MMA. So thanks for coming on, Denis.
Nice one for having me, lads. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but it's good
Yeah,
to
been a few
good
years,
to
right?
reconnect
Yeah.
now on a podcast.
Shout out to Bambi.
Yeah, man.
Currently making what you call it, poi tutorials on TikTok.
Poi
So
tutorials.
give him a
Yeah,
follow.
yeah, yeah. He actually taught me how to do poi as well a few years ago.
Nice.
So and I don't know, we spoke about it since that, like, I do believe that, like, it was what made it kind of easier for me to learn jujitsu. And I think for
Yeah.
him as well. Like, yeah. I think there's, like, obviously any sort of movement, anytime I've trained with, like, gymnasts or, like, you know, like break dancers or anything like that, they get it so quick because they're used to moving their body in weird ways, and, like, you know, the
Yeah.
way that they present their jujitsu is a bit more unique than someone that just got up off the couch and started training.
Yeah, for sure. That's the first time I've ever heard poi as a best base for jiu-jitsu. I've definitely heard breakdancing before. But, yeah, so can you give us just like a bit of your background? So how you got into jiu-jitsu, how you got into MMA? You did, you were doing athletics in school for a while, were you?
Yeah, so right, athletic background was definitely track and field. Yeah,
Yeah.
competed at quite a high level with that. Obviously, like, got a scholarship to DCU and stuff, so I competed there for a bit, and then just got an injury, couldn't really do it. Kind of obviously was in uni then as well. Ended up finding fucking parties and raves and all that kind of stuff. So
What?
yeah, fell off the wagon a bit with the athletics career, but spent about 2 years probably just partying loads, just enjoying my life, just, yeah, catching up on stuff I never got to do when I was a teenager because I grew up in
Yeah.
fucking Cavan. Do you know what I mean? And Cavan was like, there's nothing going on in Cavan, and I was doing athletics, so I didn't really go out much as well. So yeah, I just caught up a bit on that, and then kind of got bored of the partying all the time. Sort of found that I needed something to occupy myself. Always loved combat sports, always loved MMA. I'm like watching Anderson Silva and stuff growing up, and the likes of Chuck Liddell, even going back. That's how old I am. But yeah, started initially with Muay Thai in Lionheart. It is Dublin Combat Academy now, but it was Lionheart at the time,
Yeah.
just off Frederick Street. Done about a month and a half, 2 months of that, and then found a jiu-jitsu gym just by chance. It was actually run by Hugo Borim, who I think
No,
still
Hugo.
coaches.
Yeah, train with him a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had a little gym there on it was just off Mountjoy Square. It was right by my old gaff. And I walked in, it's like, yeah, fucking seen a load of guys rolling around in pajamas, and I was like, oh, what's this then? Like, you know, so I tried it, and this 15-year-old kid just, like, wrapped me up. Probably subbed me about 10, 11, 12 times and, like, around, and I was like,
Nice.
nah. I've been here thinking that Muay Thai was the way to fucking defend myself. If a 15-year-old can do that to me, like, I need to learn how to do that. So then I just got really deep into the jiu-jitsu, you know. I wouldn't say I abandoned my plans for MMA, but I just, like, I put them on the back burner a bit, and I was like, like, jiu-jitsu is what I really want to learn how to do. I want to get so good at my guard that, you know, the likes of these wrestlers, like, aren't gonna even want to go to the ground with me, like, you know, like a Charles Oliveira kind of thing. And just have an impassable guard and be able to deal, you know, I always train jujitsu with the mindset of, even if I'm off my back, I need to be able to do damage to you and prevent you being able to land punches on me. Even if I'm on my back, I'm gonna stay safe. Do you know what I mean? And then as I competed in jiu-jitsu, I moved further and further and further away from MMA. COVID hit, couldn't train jiu-jitsu anymore really. I started training again in DCA, so it was Lionheart. By the time COVID came around, it was DCA at this stage, and I was just doing some, like, underground fucking striking training with them lads, just like, keep myself occupied. I can't train jiu-jitsu, I'll at least do a bit of striking. Realized that actually, like, I'm pretty good at striking, so said, I'll take an MMA fight just for the crack. And, like, it was towards the end of COVID. It was like an outdoor event, my first amateur fight. in Belfast. They did during the Fela, and so it was like outdoors in a park on a stage and stuff. It was fucking mad. But yeah, and then fell in love with MMA and just was like, yeah, like fucking. It's like I can do jujitsu, but I can also fucking when I'm on someone's back and they're just like covering their neck, I can punch them until they give their neck up. Like it's way better. So yeah, just
It's
fell in
actually
love
a
with it.
very old school way of playing jiu-jitsu,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original.
The origins, like yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So were you were training at the still with Hugo at that time and then in DCA too? Or did you switch
Nah,
into
so
an MMA?
by that stage, like in the process of doing jujitsu, he had like closed his gym. That gym, I had gone on a trip to Brazil for like a couple months. I lived there for a couple months, trained loads out there. Yeah, actually stayed at Hugo's brother's house while I was over there,
Nice.
and then came back and I joined George Santos's gym.
Yeah, yeah. I
So I
actually
trained
trained with
there.
George as well.
Yeah, so I trained there for a bit, and then by the time I started doing MMA, I was training in East Coast. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
just because like being honest, mate, they're probably up there with the top gyms in Europe. You know, if not in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, for sure.
they're all the guys are high level. I won't say they sandbag, but Dara doesn't no, but you know Dara doesn't give
I know
belts
there's
out easy. You know what I
no
mean?
easy belts. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're not like if someone's in there as a purple belt, they're a solid purple belt. They're not gonna be like, oh, I'll just go in there and run through their purple belts. Like fucking their
Yeah,
purple belts are giving black belts a hard time. Their brown belts are all solid brown belts. Their black belts are all solid black belts. So like you don't give out belts easy. He's not giving out belts for attendance. Let's say,
yeah,
you know,
for
you're not
sure.
just gonna show up and get your little card and tick off your card and fucking I've been to 100 sessions, so now I get my blue belt. Do you know what I mean? Like, cause
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
learns at a different pace. Like, some people could do fucking 10 sessions and be a blue belt level guy. Some people need 500 sessions to be a blue belt level guy. It's different body types, you know, backgrounds, different athletic backgrounds, for just ways of learning. You know, so it's yeah. I think like it's one of the top gyms, and at the time, yeah, when I started MMA, I was training out of East Coast, and I had done until I left Ireland, basically.
yeah, yeah. So then I was over straight to Manchester from there once you moved.
Yeah, so obviously moved just after my second amateur fight. It was still like COVID times, like end of 2021. So it was still like lockdown was still basically a thing in Ireland. I was still working from home. Pubs and cafes and stuff, you still needed a fucking vaccine cert to get in. I didn't get the vaccine. England was pretty much fucking opening up. Like everything was open. You were working in the office, you were fucking going to the pub, everything was open. So I said, yeah, like I'm gonna, yeah, obviously at the time as well, like a relationship that I was in for ages fell apart and fucking just loads of shit happened. Loads of shit happened at once that like I got a job offer from Manchester and just yeah, just was like, right, I'm doing it. I'm just gonna see new horizons.
Let's
I've been in
go.
Dublin 11 years now. Like, let me just go see what else is out there and go train in some good MMA gyms over there as well. So, yeah.
Nice, yeah. And how many fights did you take as an amateur before you decided it was time to go pro? Did you have like a long?
Nah, I started MMA quite late. Obviously, I'd been doing jiu-jitsu probably about 4 or 5 years, and I started jiu-jitsu quite late. I started jiu-jitsu when I was like 21, 22. Um, and didn't start MMA till I was like 26, 27, nearly 27. Um, yeah, I had 8 amateur fights and I got them all done within the space of probably a year and a couple months.
Oh
So
yeah,
like I said, I had my amateur debut in August 2021 and I had my eighth amateur fight in October 2022. So I just got them, you know, just belted them out. I don't think I think I had like the longest I had between fights at amateur was like 2 months maybe.
yeah.
So I just
That's
smashed them
very
out.
short.
Just yeah, just
Yeah,
smashed them out, smashed them out, smashed them out. Got the experience I needed, fought the styles that I needed to see, and
yeah. You
said,
obviously
yeah,
weren't
you know how to.
taking too much damage in the fights if you were able to keep that that kind of
No,
time frame going.
nah, like I said, I developed a style both in striking and in grappling where I'm not taking loads of damage. And to be fair, for the weight division, I'm quite tall, so I'm able to keep people at range. Even if they do take me down, my guard comes into play, then keeping myself very safe, either keeping them very tight, or if they make space to land shots, like getting frames in between, getting my legs in between, and just being able to keep my face basically from most of the damage I took in my amateur fights was actually from my own shots, like kicking people in the knee or, landing a
Yeah.
foot against an
Shredding your
elbow.
shins.
Yeah, so most of it was that, like just shins and feet being sore, but like never really got any injuries or took any damage at amateur now. And then yeah, decided after that eighth fight, I'd fought like I'd beaten three, four good guys back to back. Like Solomon Simon, who's now like doing his own thing in Cage Warriors, Chris Morris, and Aaron McDonald. And I said, yeah, like it's probably just time to go pro and start getting paid now because those guys were all at the level of probably like early pro fighters. So I was like, there's no point in me just still fighting these sort of guys for free.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you notice a big jump in the ability then when you moved up to pro, or was it like pretty level with the dudes you had already been fighting?
Like I say, like Chris Morris, he was like 8-1 as an amateur.
Yeah.
Aaron was like 7-2. Solomon was 8-6, had like 14 fights. You know what I mean? So these are all guys who are quite experienced at amateur. And like I say, like in my jiu-jitsu career, I had probably 150 jiu-jitsu matches across
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
tournaments and stuff like that. So I competed quite a lot in jiu-jitsu. So it wasn't like I wasn't used to competition even from before martial arts. I'd been competing in track and field, so I wasn't like not used to competing in a sport, an individual sport. But yeah, when I say there was a massive jump, my pro debut, there was definitely like it was more the tentativeness, and obviously like I made my pro debut in Abu Dhabi. It was like not fighting around the corner. It was like flying
Yeah.
over there, being in the hotel, seeing the guy you're fighting 4 or 5 times on fight week, just walking past you in the hotel, opening the elevator, and he's walking out of the elevator, and you're like, oh, like this is fucking weird. And then obviously cutting weight over there, the arena, because it was in I think what's now the Coca-Cola Arena. I don't think it was at the time. It was just I forget what it was, Emirates Arena maybe. And yeah, it was just a bit of a madness. Obviously, I went in thinking, oh, it's 5 minute rounds now. It's gonna be like yeah, like I have to reserve my energy, and I almost left a bit too much in the tank where. At the end of it, I was like, "Fuck! I could have gone another 2 rounds. I probably should have just pushed the pace a bit more." And I ended
Yeah.
up losing a split decision, which I thought was a bit of a robbery. One judge gave me all 3 rounds. The other two gave him all 3 rounds. I was like, how are we use watching the same fight? You know what I mean? I
That is
definitely landed.
controversial.
Yeah, I mean, I landed the cleaner shots. I landed more shots. He hit me with a couple sweeps. Was it a blatant robbery? Probably not. I probably deserve to win the fight, but it is what it is. I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot, like, in terms of if you're not going to finish the fight, you've got to dominate it to the point where they can't rob you. But yeah, that was the only change I think is just the whole process of the fight more so than the like level of opponent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely hear stories about guys, you're talking about coming across people in a hotel, about dudes like bumping into each other in the sauna and like trying to play head games with each other, and you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, I
yeah.
think I remember.
Luckily, I've gone.
No, no, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like I've never bumped into them in the sauna and stuff, but even just seeing them at dinner, like, do you know what I mean? You're having your breakfast on like the Wednesday, and the guy you're fighting is sat like across the room looking at you, and you're like, oh, it's fucking weird, like, because usually amateur, I was used to even not at the weigh-in seeing them because it'd be like a video weigh-in, and then you wouldn't
Yeah,
see them till fight day, and then it's like we're here now anyway, but like seeing them all week, it almost makes them feel a bit more human or something. It's weird.
yeah, yeah. Which is like probably a pro and a con in different ways.
Depends on how they look. Fucking,
Well,
if they're a
true.
scary looking guy, mate, you're like, oh fuck, he looks scary. Shit.
If he looks like he's suffering, that can make you feel better, I suppose.
Exactly.
Struggling with the weight, but And then, yeah, I did want to ask you, actually, just speaking of your pro fights, I wanted to ask you about that banana split finish that you had, that 30-second banana split finish. Yeah,
Yeah,
is that
so
something, you play a lot of truck, or did that just come up off
um,
your?
do you know what? My plan was actually because I knew the guy had no grappling. I knew the guy was a bit pony. He stepped in like a week's notice. I was like, ah, he's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
shy. Um, so my plan was to actually twister him. That was my plan. Um, I I
I was,
do play.
because you reached back around your head, and I was
Yeah,
looking. I was like, he's gonna go for the twister there. I thought
it
you were
was
looking.
it was weird because bro, like no offense to the guy smelled awful. Like he must not have showered in about 2 weeks, bro. Like no exaggeration. Worst smelling guy I've ever smelled. I stunk of him after two
Oh,
showers. Like I
dude.
had two showers later. I could still smell him on me. But anyway, I've gone for the twister. Started setting it up. He just like held onto my head, like he just like schoolyard headlocked me while I was in the truck.
Yeah, yeah.
And the smell was so bad that I was just like, nah, do you know what? I'm not even setting up this twister. I just
Let me
grabbed his
get away
leg
from this.
and just yanked the fucking banana split, and then he tapped. Gave him a bit
Yeah,
of
yeah.
super nest, so he held on a little bit longer probably than I should have as well, you know.
You have
But it
to
is
wait
what
for the
it
ref.
is. Yeah, the ref's got to pull me off. Like I'm not arsed about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
That's interesting. I have heard. I think it was Filthy Tom Lawler. He used to say that that was like part of his strategy in MMA. He would not shower. He would not brush his teeth. And then, like, anytime people close in for the grappling, he would just like breathe directly in their faces. You know what I mean? And make it like
Ronda Rousey used to do it as well, apparently.
really.
Yeah. But like, it'd be so much worse with a bird, mate. Imagine a bird that hasn't showered and been training as well, cutting away,
Yeah,
like sweating in the sauna, all that. Like, and then, mate, like the smells that she was producing must have been fucking dark. No wonder she was subbing everyone.
it
Everyone was
worked.
fucking getting into
Yeah,
getting in the arm bars and just going, just fucking get me out of here. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell, man.
it definitely worked for her for a long time
Yeah, 100%, and 100% until she couldn't close the distance, and then
until,
then it
yeah, that
stopped
was it.
working.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah.
old head kick KO, little Holly Holm. Uh, so then, yeah, you were with Octagon. You moved to Octagon then, and you had a little bit of a kerfuffle with Octagon before you
Yeah,
with the contracts. I don't know if
some
you're allowed to.
legal disputes. Obviously all settled now. We're on a new
Yeah,
contract,
yeah,
all of
yeah. We're
that.
back.
There was disputes as to whether the contract was still in place or valid, the last contract.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, in the
Because I
end,
think
obviously I
you
got
got a
offered a new
PFL offer
contract.
at one stage, did you?
I got offered, I signed the contract, I had a fight, the whole shebang. And then Octagon obviously contacted PFL, so he's still in contract. It's in dispute. PFL wanted nothing to do with a dispute, so they just said,
Yeah,
"Listen, sort that out before we take you on board." I said, "Fair enough." And then Octagon came with a good contract offer. I said, can't say no to that.
2025.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? New year, new me, and obviously I had a baby on the way as well, so I just said, yeah, listen, I need to get paid. I've been out too long. There's nearly a year with no fights. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You got to take that, and then boom, straight back into the top 10 this year.
100%. Two victims so far this year, two dominant performances, and yeah, activity. That's all I wanted. It was activity. You know, initially with the whole Octagon thing, I just wanted to be active. Um, so here we are now, 2-0 this year so far in the top 10, and enough time in the year to get another two fights in, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Start breaking into that top five title contention sort of thing.
And is your plan to stay like as active? You're looking at 4 fights if you can for the foreseeable.
Three,
4 fights
four
a year,
fights a
sorry.
year. Yeah, three, 4 fights a year, ideally. Yeah. What do I have now? 10 fights. I'd like another 30 fights. You know, so that's on
Yeah.
average 3 fights a year for the next 10 years. Retire when I'm 40. Yeah, yeah. You know, obviously some
Cool,
years I
cool.
might get two, some years I might get
Some
four.
years, yeah.
You know, on average 3 fights a year. You know, for 10
Yeah.
years. It's doable. And yeah, like I don't see why it's not doable. I think that I can go. I'm on a streak now. I can go on another long streak, and who knows where we end up then? You know, if you keep winning, like world's your oyster.
For sure, yeah. And especially if you're not taking a lot of damage in your fights, as you were saying, you have a style that kind of keeps you safe. You know, that kind of 3, 4 fights a year is definitely achievable.
100%. I like to do like a 2 month to 10 week camp to get to 70. So, I could even do, you know, a fight at 70 and then like 4 weeks later do a fight at catch weight, 73, 74, not a problem. The main thing is getting the weight down. That's the main
Yeah,
thing. It's not even like I'm always training anyway, like whether I'm in camp, not in camp. Like I've not been in camp the last 6 weeks. I've had a baby. I've been fucking doing night feeds and all. 3 hours sleep a night and that, and I'm still training twice a day. No, I'm not
yeah.
sparring, and I'm not doing like the hard grafts. I'm pushing my body to that breaking point, but I'm still getting the work in. I'm still staying fit. I'm still staying like I could jump in a 4 week camp now and be ready to fight. So
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. What do you walk around at normally? You're fighting at 70.
normally I like to be like 83. I
Yeah,
feel good at like 82, 83, but obviously at the moment the dad weight was definitely getting me up to like
for sure. I
I
remember
was
it.
up, yeah, I was up over 90 at one stage, and then I'm back down to like 85 now, 86. But I feel
Yeah.
healthy though. I feel strong at this weight. Obviously in the gym, I've just been sort of like just having fun with it in the gym now, lifting weights, but like not like lifting where I don't want to put weight on. I want to just get strong. I've just been like doing fucking bodybuilder exercises, getting a nice pump,
Beautiful.
looking at myself in the mirror and going, fucking hell, who's that animal? Do you know what I mean? Who knows? We might see a move up to fucking welterweight at some stage, but nah.
Shit.
Obviously, I'm a bit big at the moment, but the weight will fall off once I get the diet in check. Obviously, start putting the skills training back in. So, like back to two or three sessions a day, 6 days a week. Calories will be burnt. Um, the diet will come back in, and obviously the weight program will change. The weight will drop back down. I'll be back to 82 or so in no time, and then it's a nice easy cut from there for me.
So you diet down then most of the way? Like what
Yeah.
would your water cut be generally? Or do you do much?
So my last fight, I did 6 kilos on the
Yeah.
day,
Oh,
like from the Thursday night to the Friday morning, I done 6 kilos, six and a bit. I think it was like 6.5 kilos. Generally, I like to do between 3 to 4.5 kilos. Sometimes it's your wa- your body can react differently. So like obviously when you fly, your body retains water differently as well. So if you fly on fight week and you've been water loading, you might land and be mega heavy because your body's retained some of the water, but that water is easy to then pump back out again when you do the water cut. But I like to cut on the week. I like to be 8 kilos above my weight that I need to be, and then I'll water load, get like a 2 to 3, maybe 4 kilos down, and then I water cut from there, like sweat the rest out. Ideally, but obviously everything's different. Every time is different.
yeah, for sure. For sure. And how does your training change then? So you're talking about like you don't really seem to have like an off season at all. So you're in the gym kind of twice a day. So can you talk us through like a week, what a week would look like out of camp, and then what a week would look like in camp?
So it just depends. Obviously, this
Just
time
roughly,
out of camp, yeah, this time out of camp, it's been a lot of just bag work,
Yeah.
bike work, and weights. Just because I've had the baby, I only really have a commercial gym to go to. I'm not really going to do training sessions. So this out of camp's been a little bit different. Um, Normally out of camp, I'll still do 2 sessions a day. So I'll probably do a morning session with the team, so whatever skill session that happens to be, and I will do either a cardio session or a weight session in the evening. Probably won't spar as much. I might do 2 or 3 rounds of sparring a week. Not too hard. I'll select my partners who I go with, so that I'm not going with people who are trying to take my head off. I'll do a lot more flow grappling. So the grappling won't be as hard trying to win every position. It'll be a lot more flowing, like maybe working on bad positions, letting the other person get to my back and working like back escapes a little bit, stuff like that. Yeah, and like just a bit more. So for example, like my cardio sessions would be more steady state. I might do 2 sessions of steady state a week, of like 45 minutes to an hour of just like nice and easy stuff, nasal breathing. 1 sprint session a week just to keep my lactic threshold there, just that kind of thing. In camp, then I'm upping the training sessions a little bit. I might add an afternoon session in on a Monday and a Wednesday, say. Not too tough of a session, but still an extra session. Steady states will change from 2 to 1 a week, and sprints will change from 1 to 2 a week, and a bit more sparring, so probably 5 hard rounds a week, maybe even more if I need them, and a lot more graft, and just the diet as well is the main thing. That's like the
Yeah, yeah,
calories will come in, will come down. I won't just be fueling myself massive after every training session. I'll obviously have to like calorie count and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Um, and is there any advice that you would, if you had to go back and talk to yourself when you were younger, or if you were talking to some of the newer guys coming up right now, is there any advice you give just about
Um,
MMA, grappling, striking, whatever you feel is?
it depends on what your goal is. If you do, like I do regret is going, oh, I want to do MMA. Let me train these martial arts separately. I would say go to a gym that trains the martial arts together, trains MMA, because yeah, you can. I mean, it's horses for courses. I feel like having trained Thai and Jiu-Jitsu separately, I got much better at the individual aspects of the martial arts, and I was able to put them together in my own way once I went to an MMA gym. But yeah, I would say definitely do at least 1 or 2 sessions of MMA a week if you're planning to do MMA. I'd also say sometimes less is more. Like when I first started, obviously I started quite late. I said I felt like I had so much catching up to do that I was doing like 4 sessions a day
Wow.
of
Yeah,
jujitsu
yeah.
and just absolutely
That
grinding
seems
my
too much.
body out. Yeah, too much, and like picking up stupid niggly injuries, training through them, not having adequate recovery in between, and thinking, oh yeah, but like if I miss out on a week's training, I I'll be behind again. When if I had just taken that week out and come back, I still could have just kept catching up again. Like, I didn't see 10 years into the future. I just saw in 2 months I need to be here, that kind of way. So
Yeah.
sometimes less is more, especially when you're young. Enjoy having a good back and try and keep a good back as long as you can and good knees.
Oh man, that's true.
Fucking tap to leg locks, just tap to leg locks. Like I usually would tap to leg locks, but if I felt like I was having a very close round with someone, I might tap, but tap a bit too late, and then my knees definitely are not what they used to be. I don't believe I
Yeah.
have any fucking cartilage in my knees whatsoever anymore. So yeah, definitely those things for sure.
Yeah. Those leg locks will get you for sure.
Exactly.
Have you ever injured yourself like purely through your own fault? I had Ben Eddy on and he was talking about how he broke his arm trying to squeeze in a triangle. He literally broke his own arm trying to triangle a different guy.
Fucking hell. I
That's a squeeze.
I'm pretty sure I'd done my LCL in my knee trying to calf slice or someone.
But yeah,
I did, a calf slice from the bottom. I didn't reinforce it with my other leg. He kicked his
yeah,
leg out, and my knee just went bink. And I kept rolling, and I didn't think anything of it because I was warm. And then as soon as I got cold, my leg seized up, and I couldn't fucking bend it. And I was like,
yeah,
oh my god, that's fucking. But yeah, that's probably the worst thing I've ever done to myself. Um, yeah, yeah, fucking breaking your arm
yeah.
during a triangle is wild though.
He has a squeeze. He definitely has a squeeze. But yeah, like I've done my ankle trying to close a triangle before, when it's too shallow on the foot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and that's funny because I actually do warn people about that. What you're talking about with the calf size, I do warn people about reinforcing with that leg because it's very common. I think when people like boot out to try to
Mm,
run away from the calf
mm.
size.
Yeah, some people are
But
just
yeah,
mad flexible. I used to have mad flexible knees, and I think when people do
they're not
that, and
supposed to be flexible.
yeah, like you get away with it. You're like, oh yeah, I'll just get away with it. But eventually, it just takes one time to pop, and then that's it. Now you're not flexible anymore, and it's like,
No, you're not.
fucking don't rely on it. Like, you know, don't rely on that flexibility.
It's definitely nice to have, yeah, but it's not a, what would you call it? Like a solution for everything. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah. What was I going to ask you about there? So I had something lined up and it's just completely slipped my mind because we were talking about that capsizer. So you're fucking around in grappling. There's a new dude in. You want to make him feel stupid. What is the number one sub or the number one technique that you go to just to fucking annoy people?
I
I'm
call
on a
it
wrist
the
lock kick at the moment just to give you something to work with.
nah. These wrist locks are too. They're for me. Yeah, the most embarrassing one is take someone's back, isolate their arms, and chloroform choke them. That's,
I
do
love
you know
it.
what I mean?
I love it.
It's like
Yeah.
the most embarrassing thing. Like you do that to someone, and you can see they're just fuming, they're seething, and you're like, yeah, I literally made you tap by fucking.
It
Especially if
was
you're like,
just my hand. It was just
yeah,
my hand.
especially if your hands are mad sweaty from someone else's sweat, and they're like licking the sweat off, and you're like, ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a
People
nasty
get
one.
super mad about it. Like, I kind of think it's
Yeah.
like the epitome of good jujitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I've
you're literally
isolated
just
your
covering his
arms.
mouth.
I've isolated your arms that much that now I can just, and like it's
Yeah,
a good
take
setup
my
for rear
time.
naked as well, because people like tend to like reach up to get,
Yeah,
and you can
throw their head
slide the
around.
arm
Yeah,
underneath. But
yeah.
yeah,
But even risk of injury, it's like zero risk of injury.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
so easy. It's like completely effective. Yeah, I don't understand why people get so mad about it, but I mean, I do get mad when people do it to me. So
It is embarrassing, isn't it? It's an embarrassing one. No one's hit that on me in a while. I can't lie. So if anyone wants
yeah,
to try and
yeah.
hit that on me and embarrass me, then you feel free.
Yeah, yeah. I've been doing it off crucifix lately. Actually, I get a fair bit of crucifix, so it's the same. You can kind of hold them down and just like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a
And do you have
reverse one,
a
like cup the mouth from crucifix top, like just cup the mouth, like.
from like crucifix on his back? So you
Ah,
have
yeah,
him in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
crucifix,
yeah, yeah,
same,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
same as the choke.
yeah.
But I do it from random. You'll be passing his guard sometimes, and I'll just reach in and like stuff, and then when he reaches up to try to grip fight it, you just
Yeah,
finish the
yeah,
pass.
yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
And do you have something that you do? So that's your jujitsu embarrassing move. Have you got any fancy striking shit?
I do I do like a spinning wheel kick, like you change it at the last second into a roundhouse kick. So you spin fully around, the
I
leg
think I've
comes
seen
around,
it. The foot
and then
goes
it
past
twists.
and
Yeah,
then
it
comes back.
twists around and comes back the other side. And it like you're never gonna knock someone out with it. It's just a little flick, but it's like to get hit with that again,
Yeah.
like people get so vexed. They get like they're like, oh, like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
the fuck have you?
'Cause I
You
think
can
it's
see them
because
go,
they're like, oh, I fucking dodged that, and then the thing just
yeah, yeah. It just touches you a little bit, like, or any sort of touchy kicks. You know, when like you don't have to hit someone hard with like a little touchy kick because they know in their own head, like, fuck, if you really wanted to hit me with that, like, you would have hit me with that bad. But yeah, yeah. Any of them flicky kicks, I like.
yeah. We've a dude in our place. He's fucking massive. He cut recently. He fought a heavyweight, so he cut to 120 from like 145. Yeah, he's a big dude, and he's like that. He's got some good head kicks, but he'll just like throw the kick up and just like drop it on your shoulder, So it'll
Mm,
just like
mm.
it's coming this way, and it's just like boom, like, fuck you.
Just leave
That
it
would have
there,
killed
like,
me. Yeah, that literally would have killed me.
yeah. Especially a guy that size, the weight of his leg alone just hitting you in the dome
Dude,
is
it's
definitely it.
ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're lucky he's chill. Lucky he's relaxed. But yeah. Well, yeah. So do you have anything lined up that you know of now that you can that you're allowed to
I've
talk about, or
I listen, I don't know who I'm fighting, I don't know where, I don't know when. All I know is I have a fight.
fights are coming?
Somewhere, somewhere, someone's getting it. But I don't know when, I don't know where. We'll see. Obviously, it's gonna be within the next few couple months, I imagine. Just stay tuned. As soon as I know, Instagram will know and it
Beautiful.
will be announced. Hopefully it's a big one. I'm ranked now, so every fight's a big one now.
Every fight's a big one.
So
Is there
yeah.
someone out of that top 10 that you particularly want to fight at this stage, or will you just anyone?
I'll fight anyone in the top 10. Obviously, I can't really be calling out the top 3 or 4 right now because I'm ranked 10. I just got in the rankings, but Give me another couple fights. I want to fight the champ, obviously. That's the guy.
Oh,
That is the guy
cool.
with the target on his back. And I think I have the. He's never actually lost. He's got a loss on his record, but it's from like him injuring his own leg. He broke his leg during the fight. I want to give him his first proper taste of defeat. I think I have the style to do it. I think I'm too tall for him. I'm too long for him. My striking's too elite for him. And my chin's too solid for him to knock me out. So. That's
Yeah,
low Zane Keita, so we'll see. We're working our way towards there, but anyone can get it right now, to be honest.
yeah. So as soon as we know, or sorry, as soon as you know, we'll know.
100%, 100%. Hit up the follow, obviously, Denis Frimpong MMA on Instagram, and yeah, stay tuned, and there will be an announcement soon, I imagine.
That's great. Well, thanks for coming on, Dennis. This has been amazing.
Nice one for having me. Nice one for having me.
And hopefully we'll get to do some training soon.
100%. As soon as I'm back in Dublin, I will put an open training invite, so I'll probably go to a few different gyms and get some sick again.
Nice, yeah. Put a target on your own back.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, nice one for having me on, lad.
Thanks for doing it. Yeah, this is great.
Appreciate it. Nice one, lad.
Chew. We'll see you next time.
East to West Coast, vibe like we supposed to. Only talking in your ears now, we getting close to.